I'm someone who is not ashamed that I am vulnerable. Like, I am not perfect. I know that. I have a lot of imperfections and I'm working on it.
I'm in conversation with the actor and director of the forthcoming film, Naradan. The duo is formidable and I've seen them work magic in previous films like Maya Nadi and Virus. Thank you so much for being part of this conversation. Tovino, Aashiq, thank you so much for being part of this conversation. It's a huge pleasure. My first question to Aashiq is, how are you going to better Maya Nadi and Virus with this one?
No, there is no comparison with these films because we have traveled a different route altogether from both these films. So I don't think there is a performance pressure for us for this film. It's an entirely different journey. No, I don't think so.
But what can we expect out of Naradan? Why should we go to the theaters to see Naradan?
See, after the pandemic, we have made a movie which we think it should be experienced in a theater, because we started thinking a film after the first lockdown. So it was deliberately made for the theaters.
The word Naradan strikes me as somebody who's a mischief maker, who's a troublemaker. Is that what the film is all about?
So as Aashiq told, yes, Naradan, we can like when we hear Naradan, we get two different pictures. One is this troublemaker and another one is a messenger who delivers news. So one who does his job ethically is definitely a messenger. One who doesn't follow ethics, yes, he's a troublemaker. So
how many news people? How many news people
can be done in two different ways? That's it.
How many news people have you modeled yourself on any news person?
The first thing our team decided was, like, let's not take direct inspirations or let's not imitate anyone. So we didn't want, because our character is fictional, our premise is fictional, the media channel which we are showing in this movie, it's also fictional. So we didn't want to directly point at someone. So we didn't follow anyone blindly. We didn't want to imitate anyone blindly. Instead, we took small inspirations from a lot of them so that we could make a fictional character who speaks in his own way. He never imitates the tone or the modulation of an existing newsreader. Instead, we created one for this particular movie, and that's what you are going to see in the movie.
Is there a news item or a news story which really changed your life after hearing it, or it made a significant impact on your life? Any kind of and something that has affected you? Some news story that you've heard in the last 5 years?
Like about us or generally?
Not about you, but generally seeing the news, it got you all worked up, and anything, it could be in the last 10 years, it could be something that has stayed in your mind and has, really impacted the way you look at society, the way you look at life, any kind of news.
Yes, news channels like movies can influence people a lot. They have this power to deliver this news, deliver this message. So when I was a kid, I used to watch news, 7 o'clock news in Doordarshan, 15 minutes news, and I was told that we can blindly believe whatever we see on the news. Because we had just one channel and one 15 minutes of news. That's what we had. But after a while, when a lot of news channels which shows news 24/7 came into existence, now we have to filter. Like, the same news can be seen in the two different versions of the same news can be seen in two different channels. So nowadays, when I listen to a news, when I watch something, I don't believe that immediately. I watch the same news in few different channels so that I can find out which one is the right one. every day we are listening to something like that, which affects us. Right now, what we are on the, we all are scared that Third World War is going to happen. And this social stigma started a couple of weeks back. So,
yeah.
Until Russia did something, we were not sure. Like if it's something created by the news channels all over the world. Yesterday only we got to know that okay, this is happening for real, because we have started looking at news channels in a very skeptical way nowadays.
See, the biggest impact, the news impact, I call it. It was the pandemic declaration by WHO last year, and then again, like Tovino said, we are in a verge of World War III. It looks like that because everything is going out of hand, and a lot of things are happening right now as we speak. So, all these kinds of news are affecting us. And for me personally, I'm in between a news right now.
Do you at any time think, oh shit, my life is a lot like Chandra Prakash's. I am always performing for the camera. I don't know when I'm acting or when I'm being real, my real self. That guy runs after TRPs. You're probably running after fame, success, money. Where's the peace of mind? Do you find some sort of similarities in between both the characters?
In that aspect, yes. But what I believe is in cinema, we have the liberty for including fiction. We have that liberty to include fiction in every scene or every character. But in news, we don't have that. So, and I respect all the news readers. It's not an easy job. Performing it's a performance. News anchoring or news reading it's a performance. And my respect to them has increased a lot when I did a character like that. But in real life, in my personal life, I don't find any similarities with an actor and a newsreader, other than this performance thing, which not every newsreader does that, the performance thing. But my character in this movie he's also a performer, and his show demands that kind of performance.
Go back to the Aashiq of Mayanadi and the Aashiq of Naradan. What is the difference? What do you see? What do you see in him? Other than swear words or theories or abuses, what else?
You're asking
He's
me?
a gentleman, no?
He has been a gentleman always. He's still a gentleman, and he will be a gentleman forever. Like for an artist working under a director like him, it's a very good experience, a great experience actually. When I did Mayanadi also, I experienced that, and I love working with him because he never gives us any pressure. He always keeps the actors safe and comfortable so that we can concentrate only in acting. And even though he is a very good actor, he used to be a very good actor in college and all, but he never enacts a scene, or he never suggests any expressions to us. But instead, what he does is he'll talk about the character, about the scene, the causes of this particular scene, and the after effects or results of this scene. And that's his way of bringing us to that particular situation of the character. And I think that's the best way to do it, because I will not be restricted in any way. He gives me a lot of space, and he gives me proper understanding about the character so that I can perform better. Even in Mayanadi's working style was that very similar to that. And technically and in a lot of other ways, he might have improved a lot. But as a human being, he was perfect back then also. So he's still the same, which is very helpful for the actors.
Aashiq, he's praising you too much. I have to bring you down to the
I was
ground
I was about to stop him actually.
Come on. Ask about me.
I want to know the growth that you've seen. I mean, for me, it was like the blossoming of Tovino Thomas in Mayanadi. with the, you channeled his pain, his anxiety into that gangster role, and you were able to tap into that certain magic that he has, when the camera is switched on. Similarly, with Naradan, I'm sure you've done that, and you did that with Virus. What is his USP as an actor? What is it that you tap into when you work with Tovino every time?
See, actually, Tovino is an unpredictable actor. He can do anything. For him, the image, the status, the kind of roles he chooses, they doesn't restrict him from doing any kind of roles. That's what I think personally. And he's very curious also. Curiosity is a very important thing when it comes to cinema. And he's studious also because he wants to pick up things very fast and perfectly. So he know his strength and weaknesses. So he will work on the weaknesses, and he'll give you 100% quality on his whatever the strength part is. So and after each film, he's growing as a good human being, a better human being, and and a better actor.
Tovino, he's a praised you also when he got to Saikinilla. But
part out and on my social media. Hear this. Hear what Mr. Aashiq Abu wants to say about me.
So my question to you, Tovino, is often an actor reveals his vulnerability to the director. Is it easier to reveal your vulnerability to somebody like Aashiq than it is to say other directors? Can you give me an instance where you revealed while doing Naradan or while doing Mayanadi, and it really created some sort of spark on the screen? Is it easier for you to reveal your vulnerability to Aashiq more than say any other director?
Like, we have worked together, and I know his working style, and so it's much easier for me to reveal my vulnerability to him. And I'm someone who is not ashamed that I am vulnerable. Like, I'm not perfect. I know that. I have a lot of imperfections, and I'm working on it. And when this one line of Naradan was narrated to me, the biggest concern I had was, I'm from Thrissur, and people from Thrissur, they speak very fast. So when we speak very fast, we can omit few words, and still it will mean the same. But I cannot take that liberty when I'm doing this particular character. When I'm doing Mayanadi, I can do that. I can talk casually and still be in the character. But my character in Naradan is like a performer. So the little concern I had was, I haven't done a character like this before. And I know I have to work on my diction and a lot of things for doing this character. But I had enough time. Still, I had this concern, and I mentioned it to Aashiq, and what he told was like, you don't have to worry about that. We'll make this happen. That's what he said.
You have this amazing knack of picking the right directors. I mean, Maheshinda Pradikaram, besides the films that you have directed, is my most favorite film which you have produced. Most. I cannot stop thinking about it. So how do you pick? Is it an assistant who's worked with you? How do you choose, assemble talent? Because I think that is a very underrated quality in cinema, especially Indian cinema. Choosing the right talent. How do you get that?
See, I don't know, because I just follow my intuitions. Actually, I don't do any kind of homework in choosing people, but my intuitions lead me to some sort of people. I don't know how it happens, but when Shyam and I became friends, I could easily connect to him. Within a day or two, we follow similar politics. We follow similar vision in life, and we almost had similar kind of childhood also. So maybe because of that, people easily connect with me, or vice versa. So I don't follow any kind of method on choosing people, but organically that happens.
When you started Naradan, your image of the media, and after you finished it, has it undergone any kind of change?
Yeah, daily
This
I
is a
think
question.
daily there are changes. So when we started Naradan, thinking about Naradan, yeah, a lot of things happened. I don't know how it was coincidental, because a lot of things are similar to what happened after filming Naradan. So yeah, that yeah, a lot of things actually. Three or more events happened after filming Naradan, which is similar to what is happening in the movie.
Maybe this is the best time to release a movie.
Yeah, this is the best time. I also think.
So, Tovino, from superhero to super newscaster, explain this journey to me.
So, okay, I should say this. Naradan was shoot between two different schedules of Minnal Murali. And before Naradan also, I had a very small schedule for Minnal Murali, right before Naradan, in which I played the Martin Pallikuna, the father character of the protagonist. And after Naradan's shoot, I directly went to Minnal Murali's climax sequences and I finished the shoot. So I did both the movies simultaneously, but my character in Minnal Murali is direct opposite to what I play in Naradan. No similarities at all. Like even the looks, even when I'm my beard is trimmed, I look very different in Minnal Murali and Naradan. So I think it's the team. I got very teams, two different teams, Minnal Murali and Naradan. They are the ones who can be shipped from one character to other. So basically, I'm very happy that Minnal Murali was a lot of people, and I got a lot of appreciations and all. And it was a new thing for me. Now I'm waiting for Naradan's release. In Naradan also, I think I have done a decent job. And I'm waiting for all the Minnal Murali to watch Naradan and I hope we'll get a lot of appreciation because we all are very happy about this movie. So the transition from Minnal Murali to Naradan, I'll give the credit to my team, like the directors, the cinematographers, the costume designers, and the makeup people, all of the and assistant directors and everyone who helped me shift from one particular character to another one and back to the same character after the shoot of Naradan. The last day of Naradan was in Kumali. That day from morning 7 to 2:30, I was from Naradan, and I had to take a helicopter from Kumali to Hassan in Karnataka, which is very rare in Malayalam film. Like you don't get to and from 6 in the evening to next day morning 6, I was fighting as Minnal Murali.
Has the uncertainty changed you as an actor? I mean, most of us sat at home for 2 years,
I've done around 20-25 movies in 3 years. And after 2000, when I got this lockdown, it was a much needed break for me. I got enough time to spend with my family, and my wife was pregnant then. And so I could sit with her for 3 months before the delivery, and I could sit with them and change the diapers of my kid for another 3 months after the delivery. So I got that much time with my family. Also, I got enough me time also. Like when we are working, we are part of this rat race. Every day we have to work. We keep on working. We don't stop. We don't think. We don't ask questions to ourselves. But lockdown was a chance for me to analyze a lot of things, to ask myself a lot of questions, to read a lot of books which I always wanted to read books. And I was a Tibetan reader before I came into movies. And after I came into movies, especially after my marriage, I got very less time to read. I like reading when I'm the only person in the room or when everyone else is asleep. Like I want that kind of concentration and focus when I read a book, or else I cannot finish reading it. So during lockdown, I had enough time, and I usually slept at 4 or 5 in the morning, maybe even 6 in the morning, and I had this liberty to wake up at around 1:30 or 2 o'clock and directly go and have lunch. So I didn't have to go anywhere. I didn't have any deadlines or anything, and I was like at the same time I was very much relaxed because I knew that everyone in the world is sitting simply. So nothing wrong in me sitting simply and doing things which I like.
Both of you tell me the best piece of advice and the worst piece of advice you've ever got in your life. The best and the worst piece of advice.
The best advice, I don't know if I tell it in English, the content might be gone in translation, might be lost in translation. But the best advice I got is, maybe we can say, you have a very bad reputation, keep it up. If you try to change that, it will come back again.
It will come again.
No point in clean the book. Yeah, when I planned to resign from Cognizant, one of my friends told, you are being foolish, don't resign. You be in Cognizant and try getting into movies. And that was the worst piece of advice. I lost 1 year just because of that advice.
Best piece, I think it was from my father. So it was about being truthful. Once he said, what we can do is, the only thing we can do is just be truthful to whatever happens to you. So I think that was the best piece. When I do films, I always remember that. Whatever it is, just be truthful to what you are doing and don't get confused. So that, and worst advice, actually, I don't take advice from people that much because I don't ask for advice.